your life? What are the first steps to overcoming those challenges? Things like that. We build curriculum around it. It can be done. People smarter than me can build curriculum around it, and it can really help these kids internalize and think about their own life, okay? And some of the struggles that they face. But that's how it all began. And so when I left there, I was inspired to go out and talk to more kids. That's just the birth of it, okay? That's how it all started. Today, I'd speak to over 20,000 kids nationwide, okay? Something else you gotta remember, if you're not a wrestling culture school, that's one of the roadblocks I run into. Well, we're not a wrestling culture school. They watch the documentary, they think this is about wrestling. This has very little to do with wrestling and everything to do with life, okay? I talk very little about wrestling. I play the documentary, but what I talk about to the kids is that everybody has a wrestling in their life. Everybody has something that keeps them passionate, something that keeps them inspired. Whether it's basketball, whether it's poetry, whether it's singing, everybody has a wrestling in their life. And when I talk about that, it encompasses more kids in the room, okay? And so you got to keep that in mind when you're going back to your school and talking about it and you're running into some of these roadblocks. That's one of them, okay? Just remember that this is much bigger than a sport. This is much bigger than wrestling. It's much bigger than us. And you cannot take it on by yourself. You can't. You need partners like me. You need people like me involved. I'm not a do-all, be-all program. On all means, I'm not going to change the world in one day or change, save a whole bunch of kids. But what we are going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to impact these kids at a very high level. And they're going to understand when I talk about abandoning my daughter for 2 years. They're going to understand because that little girl doesn't have her father. She's going to understand that, and I'm going to reach in and touch her heartstrings. When I talk about jail, they're going to understand because they know somebody that's gone to jail. These kids, the parents are busy, they're working 2 jobs, they're trying to do what they can. They don't know enough about the epidemic, about the drugs. They don't know what to do. They're looking to us. They're looking to the teachers. It's going to be through education that we're going to be able to help the next generation, guys. The EpiPen and all those trainings they're doing, that's going to help the guy that's getting ready to die right now. And it's very important. But what are we doing to change the world? And what are we doing to help the next generation understand those dangers? Okay? So we need to work together to try to get this into more schools, all right? Because this is not going to go away. It's probably the hottest topic right now, okay? This is the time. And if any of you have lost a kid in your school recently, which maybe some of you have, or somebody in your community right now, the fire is hot. This is a huge issue for you, okay? While the fire's hot, we need to address it. Keep in mind, we can't sweep it under the rug anymore because it's coming. You just can't. You can't deny it. Also, if you're afraid that you're going to lose face with your school, that's another obstacle I run into. Wait a minute, I don't want to bring light to this because our school people in the community would think we got a problem. Not good. Not good, guys, okay? It's not good. Because now we're just turning a blind eye. We're pretending like it's not happening. We're pretending like it's not going to happen in our school. It's happening in your school, okay? If the problem's this big, if you know about this much, I promise you it's the size of a beach ball, okay? Keep that in mind. And also, you're gonna become the hero in the community because now we're bringing it in for preventative maintenance. We're bringing it in because we don't want to have it in our school, okay? Don't worry about the community. They're going to look on to you as the hero. Oh my God, you're having the conversation that I want to have with my kids and I don't know how. I don't know how. I get those all the time. Parents are just, man, I don't know how. I'm looking to the school to have those conversations, guys. So this is serious to me, okay? As you can tell, I get a little intense. This is serious. This is a problem, man. I invest everything into it. When I come in, I'm all in, okay? It's not just a 40-minute speech. I hang out with the students. I have discussion groups in the afternoon. They all get wristbands. There's some t-shirts involved. There's flyers that I pass out to the kids. It's positive reinforcement, man. It's teachers wearing the wristbands for days because they're part of being a champion in life. These kids need to see that you're part of the team. I go to wrestling practice after school. I meet athletes, and talk to athletes from a little different angle later on in the day. Things like that. And so by the end of the day, hopefully we're able to reach them from different angles, I was going to read you guys some messages I got this week. Like I've gotten hundreds of messages this year from students that find me on Instagram, students that send me messages. That one student right there that sent me that message that told me about her mom and that kid is the way, telling me how she feels because her mom's strung out and she doesn't know what to do. I'm not an answer. There's no magic pill, but that child just needs to share that with somebody, okay? And so I feel like I'm in a position and I'm that messenger. But it's a lot, you know? But those kids, the handful of kids that we impact when we bring our program in, we can't worry about how big the problem is. I can't attack it. It's just too massive. We're not going to make a difference, because I'm telling you what right now, when that one kid reaches out to me, it's a massive win, okay? It's a massive win. And I've gotten many, many, many of them on this trip particularly. This has been a very impactful trip so far. And when I get those, it reinvigorates me and it reminds me why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for that little Stevie out there, and that girl is that little Stevie. There's always a little Stevie in the crowd that's going to understand and want to make a different choice than I did at that moment where I went to the left and spent 15 years, and they might take a ride. But at the end of the day, man, if this is something that makes sense to you and it brings value to your school, and this is a topic that you could bring to your school, please do, guys. Because I believe I am one part of the solution, and we all need to work together to make change. Thanks.
Thank you.